So welcome to AIWO Studio. In today's episode, we have very exciting guests from Denmark. AIWO's partners from CCI, CCI's CEO Harald Thomsen.
Yeah, that's right.
and Torsten Hertig, who's working in business development. So welcome to the AIWO Studio.
Thank you very much.
Happy to be here.
Great. And today we're discussing about Aiwos and CCI's cooperation, how it started and how it's been so far. And also I will ask a little bit about your thoughts on Aiwo System and what makes it unique and what are your thoughts about its benefits.
Great.
So if we start from the beginning, could either of you tell me how did Aiwos and CCI's cooperation start?
Okay, so maybe that's a question for me, since I was the guy who started talking with Aiwo in the beginning. So basically, a little bit to the history why we think Aiwo's products is so relevant is that CCI has worked within customer lifecycle management for 17 years now, and we built front-end systems and CRM systems, and we have recently started working with employee engagement solutions, basically what we call it employee relationship management, so ERM, so a new way of looking at handling employees. And in this sphere, there is a lot of data that we need to handle. And in that context, I talked to the founder of Aiwo, and we had a discussion, and I got very thrilled about the product. And that was 6 months ago or so when we had the first meeting. And since then, we have gradually been focusing more and more on and doing a lot of work on the product together. So it has been an exciting journey until now. Yeah.
So how has the cooperation been so far with Aiwo? How has it?
Well, it has been very good because it's like we are both from the Scandinavian countries, so it's easy and simple to cooperate, and lots of jokes, sitting in cars, having conference calls from cars, from boat, from all kind of places during the Corona time. But it has worked very well, and I think we have come to a lot of new exciting products that we want to launch jointly in the next coming months. So yeah, so great.
I'm glad to hear. So if we go to the next question, what are CCI's opinions? What do you think are the main benefits that Aiwo provides to different businesses? What impressed you the most? What are the key benefits or elements in Aiwo System?
Well, maybe Torsten, you can say something interesting about that.
Yeah, we probably have something to say, both of us. I think we come from kind of different backgrounds. I come from a background as an analyst, and I think the main thing for me, what really impressed me about Aiwo was how much of an analysis it can actually provide. Because you often see loads of programs who try to say, well, we can, without any human interference, we can kind of create the overview and do all the things that you do as an analyst. And as an analyst, you always sit and say, well, no, you don't, because you can't evaluate stuff. You cannot take a decision on what's important, what's not important. And I actually think that Aiwo manages to do all this, because when you can see everything in the way that it's set up with Aiwo, then you can see all the angles and you can choose yourself, what's the angle I'm going to be focusing on, what I think is important. It just saves you a lot of time. You would have to go through, months of research often, and now you can do it in a few hours, just going through how I was organized the whole thing.
That's true.
Agree. I had also a comment to that. I used to work in big corporations with call centers, and there I saw a lot of potentials for basically any corporation who has a lot of customers, consumer customer typically, and therefore a big call center. There is many challenges you have in all the call centers all over the world. So, for example, why are the customers calling? What's the reason they call? how happy are they with the treatment they get? That's the questions you always have in all call centers all the time. And we have in CCI developed tools to help ask questions and so on. But it has only been part of the solution, because now when we combine it with Aiwo's solution, that you can both analyze the actual reply to a question as well as the free text written reply or comment or even speech in a call center. If you have the recording, that means that you now have a complete picture of what is the customer sentiments. That's unique, and it's very fast to set up. So I think it's a huge deal breaker, disruption of the industry. Actually, we just need to roll it out.
Very good thing. So why did you decide to partner with Aiwo in the first place?
Well, actually, it's quite interesting, because initially, when I had the first talks with the CEO of Aiwo, we had some discussion back and forth, and I was trying to read about the topic. And in the beginning, I quite frankly didn't know anything about the way this industry. So we did a lot of research. We spent several months researching all kinds of companies, and in the beginning there were lots and lots and lots of similar solutions and so on. But after some time, we basically ran out of competitors, and basically the way I position it now and the way I look at it is that probably there are no other competitors, maybe except someone called NASA in the USA. We think they might have something similar, but we don't know. But in any case, we haven't been able to find anybody who can do the same thing. And that's why I'm so thrilled about this, because it's really unique. And of course, that's great.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I also think it's really, you start out thinking this is compared to some other products you've seen, but the more you look into it, you see, no, it's really not. It's very broad in the way it can be applied, and it can be applied in different directions. But there's no one else who can do anything similar to what it actually does, I think.
Yeah. And actually, also, we even had a conversation with a big international client who has thousands of people employed, and they have done really let's say, detailed research about such systems, because they use it in daily life. And their head of research, he confirmed that after the first meeting we introduced it, then he spent 3 weeks doing research, and he came back to us and said, I can confirm there is nobody who does this.
Mm-hmm.
So and I think that's pretty unique, and that's why we are so thrilled to work with this.
Yeah. And it's almost difficult to also, I think the thing about the world today is there's so much data, and there's so many people trying to read it. There's so many people trying to get something out of it, and it very quickly becomes very complicated and what do you call it? Difficult to see through, really. I think this is the first product where I actually see, okay, this is actually opening up a new world. This is opening up so many more possibilities and opportunities. You can see things quicker. You can understand things you would not be able to understand before. Because it has solved an issue in terms of how do you use data to get answers to whatever you want answered.
Yeah.
So, Torsten, you were saying about these opportunities that Aiwo provides. So, what would you say to a company that is thinking about, should we try Aiwo System? What would you say? What would you tell them?
Well, the thing is, it depends on what kind of company it is, because Aiwo is something that you can use in many different directions. So, say, do you want to know more about your customers? Then do as Harald said. Well, use it to read call data. On a daily basis, you will know exactly what's being said about you. You'll know exactly what people are calling in to talk about. If you want to do media analysis, well, here you go. You can use Aiwo to read social media and tell you all the clusters that are currently tweeting or speaking about subjects on Facebook, and you got it all presented for you. I mean, there's so many industries that I've never been in, so I don't know how NASA could probably use it as well. I think they probably have loads of data points as well. They could use it to get insights into. So I think it's,
let's call them.
yeah.
So would you say Aiwo suits to everybody, or?
I think it does. I mean, if you have a certain size, or you have a certain, basically, let's say, put it like this: if you have questions about the world that you think are difficult to get an overview over and understand completely, well, then Aiwo can definitely help you.
Yeah, and I think it's actually a very good fulfilling reply, Torsten, and that is also what leads us to that the new product launch we are doing jointly with Aiwo is that we have this Net Promoter Score, which is basically a satisfaction score of customers where you do it 100% automatic. So compared to all previous of such tools is where you need to decide when do I make the questionnaire, who do I send it out to, and all that, of course, you still need to do. But once you send it out, then the treatment of the data is done 100% automatic, partly because of the yes/no answer and the scoring data, but also that we analyze the free text. That's pretty unique. So imagine all the manpower the companies can save and getting a real-time feedback from real customers where they express their thoughts about the company. That's powerful.
I think this is a great ending to our discussions. Thank you, Harald and Torsten, for joining our AIWO Studio today. This is very good, and we're looking forward to see where the cooperation will go with CCI and AIWO. So thank you
very much. Pleasure being here.
Bye.
Bye bye.